October 7th workout breakdown. This is a baseline. I don't normally go over the baselines, but I think this one is really important in terms of just knowing the little things and setting yourself up. I really, really enjoy this baseline. I think for a lot of people, confusion kind of gets in the way sometimes, and it seems like a lot, which is why I'm making a video about it. So hopefully this is pretty quick. But 7. So this one's been around for a while. I've made some adjustments over the years. I had to in the old gym because it just didn't flow the way I wanted it to flow. But I think it's pretty good now. There should never be any further adjustments for anybody that says they have a picture from like way back when. Yes, it has changed. But in the new gym, we haven't done it yet. The last time we did it was October 29th. So I love this. I made this baseline originally for transitional purposes. I wanted a baseline that was focused on transitions, highlighted people's ability to move from one movement to the other. Also give people, the people that set up really well and think ahead of time, a bit of an advantage. Because again, I think you should be credited if you are thinking about your setup and your weights and how you're going to flow from one exercise to the other. Like that stuff all matters to me. And again, it makes it just a little bit more nitty gritty, pull some of the layers back of working out. And what kind of makes fitness so fun is the strategery behind some of the workouts. And I don't want to lose that, in the setting of group fitness. Like sometimes you can lose that if we're all doing the same thing all the time, and we don't get to highlight some of the things that maybe other people are good at or really focus on. So the transitions here are massive. Like that's the whole point. So we're doing it this month because this month's transitional work, it fits flawlessly. And you watching this video, you should have an advantage for those of you that don't, not those of you, the people that don't watch the video. You're going to choose a 100 or 130 meter run, and then you're going to just go from one movement to the other. So you got 7 exercises, 7 rounds. You have a 25-minute cap. Your goal is to get through it obviously as fast as possible, but hence the 7s for the 7 reps, 7 exercises, 7 rounds. So choose your distance on the run. You may see, I think a lot of people think that 30 meters doesn't matter. Like it does. It adds up pretty quickly because the essence or the organic side of this workout is it moves really, really fast. You are flying through this. So that 30 meters does change how this ends up feeling. So again, don't take that with a grain of salt, just throwing that out there. But 7 tricep extensions, 7 belly burpees, 7 bicep curls. Remember, that's rotating on the way up. 7 hand release push-ups, 7 hammer curls, 7 calories bite. In terms of the weights, which tends to be the biggest point of emphasis here, I typically, what I've done in the past is just use the same weight for everything and go off my weakest movements. And for me, that's typically bicep curls are my weakest movement, especially now as I'm coming off of this golfer's elbow for the last 5 months. And again, everybody's a little bit different. So I know my biceps are weaker than my triceps. They kind of have been forever, and they really are now. So I'll go over my notes, and I will pick pretty much the heaviest weight I think I can handle for 49 reps of the bicep curls. And keep in mind, they're going to be taxed more and more as each round goes on, as obviously the hammer curls are there as well. Otherwise the triceps, tricep extension, belly burpees, and hand release push-ups are all triceps. And I don't want people to just see tricep extension and think that nothing else is going to affect them. Belly burpees, you're pushing off the ground. That's just a lot of triceps. And hand release push-ups are a massive amount of triceps. So if you're somebody that's like, oh, I can do 20s on tricep extensions, I would cautious, a little cautious on that. Maybe drop the weight class because, again, you get 5, 6, 7 rounds in, it starts to add up. Now, in terms of flow, the tricep extensions, normally, if you're only using one set of dumbbells, it's much, much, much easier to have this set up. If you're using 2 or 3 sets of dumbbells, you got to have them situated where you can flow between them pretty easily, and it's not in the way of your hand release push-ups or your belly burpees. And then in terms of the whiteboard, what I normally do on the whiteboard is I write my rounds 1 through 30, and I literally just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way to 30, and then I put it at my rower. And every time you pass back from your rower, right, because you're going to finish on the bike, you just wipe off 1 as you go. And then the reason why I number them instead of just putting tallies is if I happen to forget, a lot of times I'll have the ability to know that if I'm on an odd or even number, that helps me just... I don't even know how to explain, but sometimes you just know based off of maybe where somebody else is. Maybe you've been trailing somebody the entire time, or you've been slightly ahead of this person the entire time, and you see that they're at a certain number, then you're at a certain number, whereas the tally marks don't tell you a number. It's just tally marks, and you don't want to waste more time counting them. So I would number them And then I would just make sure everything is set up perfectly and kind of just go through in your head, like, how am I going to flow through this? Like, I'm going to finish my tricep extensions, put the weights down, roll right off my bench into my belly burpees. I'm going to do my hand release push-ups right where my belly burpees are, yada, 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 so on and so forth as you go. Now, if you finish this under 25 minutes, you just go into the devil press at the bottom. You'll notice you're going to pick a rep count, and you're going to have to do it in the next block anyway. So if you guys go to the next block, which I didn't realize this wasn't maxed out. Hopefully I didn't infect anybody. But if you go to the next block, you're going to finish your devil press, then you got the overhead extension, chin-ups, and band tries. So just all lifting in the second block. And I don't think there's really much to go over here. So again, 7 rounds, 7 exercises, 7 reps, heavy on the transitional work. Just a fun way to approach a baseline.